Mayor Borowski, council members, name is Bob Pejman, address is on record. And I thought the presentation would go first, but you will find out that the overall bed tax money is about $35 million. 5% of that is slated for Old Town destination marketing. That amount is about $1.5 million. So you would figure with that amount of money, the stakeholders and general members of the public would know what the plan is and how the money is being spent. Unfortunately, they don't. What's worse is that you don't know how that money is being spent either. You don't know what the marketing plan is. You don't know how the money is being spent. And I had to do a records request last January to get hundreds of invoices to try to piece it together. And I still don't know how the money will be spent in the future, when what the plan is. Now, I have to say that this must be the result of the previous city manager and its staff that created this kind of behind closed doors planning, and the previous councils went along with it. But it's a different story right now. I'm happy to report that our new city manager has made drastic moves. Number one, to put the marketing contract out to bid. We have 10 or 11 bids that they're going to be selecting from, and I'm hoping that the rest of this process will be made transparently and presented to the council and all that. Now, I have to say, though, that if things are being done behind closed doors and non-transparently, maybe, and just maybe, we'd be okay with it if the results were good. But the way I see it, and what got me started on this whole thing, is the results don't look good. Let me put this on the projector, please. Can you see this? Okay. This chart was presented at the TDC meeting last year. Nobody raised an eyebrow, by the way. It shows that since 2017, the daytime visitation in Old Town has plummeted. The midnight hour is booming, and in fact, they kind of like showed off the fact that the midnight hour is booming. By the way, I love bars and clubs. I love that they're booming. But when it comes at the expense of the daytime plummeting, this is not good for our city's brand when you have a desolate Old Town during the day. And if you look at the Keene study, which French referenced, 150 stakeholders, they basically said mostly the same thing. The marketing is not targeted. They don't know what's going on. And one recommendation that I make is that not only should everything be made transparent, approved by the council with presentations and all that, the city should divide up some of this money between the different categories. For example, shopping and dining, arts and culture, bars and clubs. Each should be designated a certain percentage of this, because not all these entities can be marketed with the same brush. They appeal to different demographics and all that, and I think that will also add to the accountability and measuring the effectiveness of the program. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Go right ahead, Councilman Graham.
Thank you, Mayor. It's really not a question. I just wanted to thank Mr. Pejman for bringing this slide to our attention, because without Mr. Pejman, this slide wouldn't have been brought to the public's attention. And, I look at this slide right here. I mean, I agree with Mr. Pejman that every sector cannot win, every cannot grow, and so inevitably you're gonna, when you move a city's marketing and city's brand forward, one area is not gonna grow the same as all the others. When I see daytime traffic dropping like a rock and midnight traffic, booming, this does not tell me Scottsdale is for families. This does not scream arts and culture in Scottsdale. So I want to thank Mr. Pejman for bringing this to the public's attention.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob Pejman. Appreciate it.
Madam Mayor, City Council, I've got a little presentation. I've got a little slideshow here. The City of Scottsdale had hired a company to do a Old Town Scottsdale business engagement study. So I don't know if you guys have read all of it, but I want to run through a few of the highlights of it. Next slide, please. So the top survey results were from 150 downtown stakeholders. They'd like to have the city market Old Town with brand characteristics of upscale, sophisticated, Western, and historic. The age group most merchants would like to have this attract would be 41 to 56 years old. And the customer groups that merchants want to attract are Scottsdale residents and luxury tourists. Next slide, please. So on page 6 of the report, it says that Arts District stakeholders in particular voiced frustration that their contributions have been overshadowed by the emphasis on bars, restaurants, and bachelorette parties in the marketing materials. Many also pointed to the diminished participation in events like the Art Walk and a lack of promotional visibility for galleries and studios. So these are 150 real businesses. This isn't just Bob Pejman and myself and a few other people making these statements. These are people that are tax-paying businesses in your downtown. And in some cases, the city-sponsored events were seen as inadvertently harming local businesses, such as street closures for events disrupting gallery access and parking availability. Page 10, the next page, please. Page 7. They have a desire for increased transparency and collaboration with the city and these merchants. A large theme across the interviews and focus groups was a call for improved transparency and collaboration. Business owners expressed a frustration about not being informed or included in the city marketing decisions. Many felt that they had valuable insights and ideas to contribute, but were unsure who to contact or whether their voices would be heard. The absence of a designated liaison or central coordinating figure within the city staff was cited as a significant barrier. All of these businesses that are in the downtown area, they do their own marketing for their businesses. They know what works, they know what doesn't work, and they've been doing it for decades. So they should be talked to. Yes. So perceptions of marketing and effectiveness were, across all respondents, there were a shared uncertainty about the effectiveness of current marketing materials, efforts. When participants were asked to rate their awareness of city-led promotions, responses skewed to either neutral or lower ratings. Further, only a small percentage of participants indicated that current marketing efforts were effective. So, next slide. I request that City Council to direct staff, just this last page, if you give me just this last page, work with and communicate with the Old Town businesses that are being marketed, have quarterly presentations to the City Council on how the funding for the department is being spent, market to the desired demographic needed to support the luxury brand of Old Town Scottsdale, and designate a staff liaison position to stay on an ongoing communication with the merchants that they are marketing. Thank you.